Welcome back. Israel and the United States have warned of severe consequences to Iran's missile attack yesterday. And one of our next guests says a wider war is here, but the question is how wide. For more on what a response could look like and the potential impact to the energy markets, I'm joined by Kupchan. He's senior fellow at the Council on Foreign Relations. And Amrita Sen is founder and director of research at Energy Aspects. Welcome to you both. Charles, I'll just begin with you. What are you hearing is the latest in terms of a possible Israeli response?
Well, as you put it, a wider war is here. We just don't know how wide. And I'm guessing what's going on now in Israel is that the leadership is talking to the military commanders about a menu of options for retaliation. I think retaliation is a sure thing. Israel does not let these kinds of attacks go without hitting back hard. And I can imagine a ladder of options, the low end being asymmetrical responses, a cyber attack hitting Iranian targets that aren't in Iran, then moving towards energy infrastructure and other critical utilities. The third level might be strikes on military targets, command and control in particular, because the Israelis have done a great job of pulling down Hezbollah's ability to retaliate by hitting their command and control. And then the upper range would be strikes on Iran's nuclear sites and strikes on the regime aimed at toppling the Iranian government. At this point, it's difficult to tell.
Right.
I think the U.S. is going to be counseling restraint. Don't go for the full Monty, because we don't want a huge war in the Middle East.
Of course, and just to press on that for a moment, what is the timeline that we could be talking about here? Is it today? Is it hours? Or could this retaliation come within weeks? And why shouldn't Israel take this opportunity to try to strike at the heart of Iranian either oil production or nuclear production?
I'm guessing days. I think in general you see Israel hit back pretty quickly when it gets struck. And there's no question that in the mind of Bibi Netanyahu, he's degraded Iran's main proxies, the most threatening proxies, Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon. He may say, this is an opportunity for me to try to finish the job, to go to the puppet master, to take the war to Iran itself.
Right.
I think the calculation here is you take a huge risk. I mean, we've seen the United States topple regimes in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in Libya. Those didn't go so well. And so I think some tough judgments are being made here about whether trying to go after the nuclear sites and toppling the Iranian regime are worth the risks. And I'm guessing Washington is engaging Israelis in that conversation.
Amrita, as this all plays out, perhaps the most significant headline, and tell me what you think, in the past 24 hours is from the Saudis talking about $50 oil. If we were if we had oil anywhere over $100 a barrel, or we're dealing with supply shortages and whatnot, this conflict would already be resulting in dramatic spikes, I'd have to imagine. Instead, the opposite seems to be the case here.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a couple of things, right, in terms of, firstly, with regards to Iran or Israel, for that matter. If there were to be strikes on Iran's oil facilities, I know some senators have called for some refineries to get attacked so that it doesn't spill over to the rest of the world. Iran has said that it is going to be targeting potential oil infrastructure across the GCC and other countries as well, which remains a big risk. We've seen that with 2019 Upcake attacks, and I do think if that were to happen, prices are going to go up. But coming back to the question about the $50 oil, I do really firmly believe, given we've spoken to our sources directly, that headline and the story was quite misinformed. There actually wasn't necessarily a call that took place last week. It doesn't mean that the thrust of the story is incorrect, in the sense that the focus of Saudi Arabia and the other countries who are actually going ahead with the voluntary cuts is on compliance. They don't want to be taken for a free ride. They don't want to be in a situation where they are cutting production, and there are a few countries, particularly Iraq and Kazakhstan, that are not complying. Absolutely, that remains the focus, but I think there's a little bit, there's more to that story in terms of the timing of it. As soon as prices started going up, that story suddenly got leaked to the press. So yeah, I will say that I found that timing very suspect.